am happily owned by Angela Natural Jeans. If you cannot tell, her name is tatted on my chest. I am branded like a cow. Where am I going? Nowhere.
It's creepy, yes it is. Is it wrong? Yes it is.
What is going on here?
Good morning, afternoon, or night, Skullies. My name is Liz, and I'm here with my special guest, Savonne Pearson.
Hello.
And welcome back to Toxic Mental Tuesday/Thursday, where we talk all things toxicity and or mental health.
Period.
Today on the roster, we have all things ice blue contacts, cults, and BBWs. We're dealing with the cult on TikTok, Daddy's Girl.
Wow. You killed that. She's hired, I'm out. It's Liz's channel. She said it. We're gonna be getting into some pretty dark as this individual that we will be discussing is pretty twisted. So I'm gonna go ahead and provide the trigger warning here. So again, if this is something that triggers you, please go ahead and click out and I will see you in my next video. So there are a few main components that we're gonna be getting into with this video. We're gonna be hitting on our 3 main W's. That is our who, what, when, where, and why, and how, which it's so funny. Why is it called the 3 W's when it's all of those?
It's called the 5 W's.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, the 5 W's plus the H.
Now they're not gonna trust anything I say anymore. Well, my bad, it's called the 5 W's. So we're gonna be getting into all of that. I guess that actually does make sense, but what doesn't make sense is what we're gonna be discussing today. I also want to put in a disclaimer that all of this is alleged. So basically, to sum it all up, there's this woman named Angela Van Dusen or Van Dusen?
Van Dusen?
Van Dusen, or she also goes by Angela, the natural goddess. And what she does is prey on women, usually older BBW women on TikTok, and she gets them to worship her, to pray to her, themselves, send money, a whole slew of things. And a lot of these women actually have not even met her.
It's disgusting.
It's absolutely sick.
It's R. Kelly.
It's really giving
Arkesha.
No, but seriously, it is really giving the same things that R. Kelly gave, except it's not minors, it's actual older women who are over age. And of course, Black women who usually get ignored and aren't really seen as victims. When really, I feel like the women that we're going to be discussing in this video are victims.
100%.
Or however you look at it.
This is what we found on this ice blue contact wearing.
Now look, we are not in the business of tearing someone down because of their looks. But TikTok is having a field day.
I mean, it's not our fault she looks like one of those baby studs from 2013.
I can't stop being petty. I just can't. If I could pay to take classes to help me not be petty, I will pay it.
So introducing the alleged cult leader, Angela Jalen Van Dusen, 27 years old from Michigan. So taking a look through her Facebook page, it's pretty obvious when you look through her pictures.
She looks very feminine here.
Very feminine.
Like totally different person.
And really the only reason we are noting the difference in her femininity and masculinity versus her Facebook and TikTok is because that plays with our theories later. Normally we wouldn't really care what someone presents as, but it's what she's using her masculinity essentially to manipulate and control these women. She actually has a business. For selling skin oils that help heal scars.
Ironic.
Super ironic because she is having these women themselves. One thing that I really noticed is you don't see any trace of her TikTok on her personal Facebook account, nor do you see any trace of her TikTok on her business account. And the only trace of TikTok that you really see is this video right here.
There's a woman who is reviewing some of her skin oil products that she made on TikTok.
And she actually, what was interesting is in the description, it says, this is not a paid advertisement and I don't know the business owner personally. So she posted this around September 20th. If you take a quick look at the poster's TikTok, you really don't see anything that suggests that she's not telling the truth. You'll see that Angela started commenting on her post around October 9th. Right. So that leads me to believe that this is how she met Angela. She started using her oils and then Angela found her attractive or thought that she could be a good person to bring into whatever she has going on, this alleged cult, and she brought her in.
And I really feel like this is how she recruits most of her women and most of her victims.
So now that we looked at Angela's Facebook account, let's go to this infamous TikTok account. Her bio says she's the leader of Daddy's Girls, and then she has her Cash App in there, and then she also links to her oils. So this is one of the very first videos that I saw of her when she popped up on my For You page. So it's showing, it was a trend where basically people would say, wait for me, where they would show them at their lowest when they were least attractive to now how they've grown up. Essentially, basically she's showcasing her weight loss, which is a very key part and key component in this whole story.
I feel like because Angela herself was an overweight girl just a few years ago, and maybe because of how she was treated and everything, I feel like that's why she is specifically targeting BBW women.
Maybe her herself still feels like that inside, so she's demonizing these women because that's how she felt about herself.
Do you feel like she preys on BBWs?
Yeah, I do.
So what is this whole cult? And is it even a cult?
So let's talk about the definition. What is a cult?
A cult is defined in modern English as a social group that is defined by its unusual religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs, or by its common interest in a particular personality, object, or goal. So let's break this down. It's pretty unusual. They're worshiping a specific person. It's a social group because it's primarily ran on social media. So I feel like that checks most of the boxes of a cult, but don't listen to us. Let them tell you themselves.
Cult. I am definitely hers.
You want to join? They say cult over here, Bella.
Oh my God. It is, but we love it here. Like, it is a cult. It is. It very much is. And Daddy is the head of this cult.
Would you like to join?
And we love it here.
So when you watch that clip at first glance, it seems innocent, like a cult, you know, like
What's a cult?
it's not your first thought to think, this person is doing this evil, dark cult where she's having girls do these unimaginable things to themselves in order to worship her. No. And that's really how we got introduced to this story. So I'll roll the TikTok that I watched and I sent it to her and I was like, girl, what is going on TikTok today?
Right.
So essentially, to sum it up, she is saying that I'm not about to be recruited. I've heard about you. It's not going to be me. Right. And so, of course, I'm like, cult?
Yeah, who are you talking about?
Lesbian? Cult? Let's decipher this crazy together. So although this is popping up on TikTok right now, it's going heavy in our For You pages, this actually was a big topic of discussion back in June when one of the original cult members, Chae Jenkins, she ended up leaving in April. And then a few months later in June, she went on a podcast basically detailing all of the events that happened in this alleged crazy lesbian cult.
It was all over TikTok. They were on TikTok Live going at it. It blew up on Twitter and it really got people talking. And so in this interview, you kind of see more into the life of what happens inside of this alleged cult.
Yeah. And I will link the full interview below, but I will be getting into the key snippets in this video. So this is Chae Jenkins. She is allegedly the very first person that was initiated into the cult.
Hey y'all, I want to have a quick pause right here just to say that we recorded this video on Tuesday. I've been going back and forth with all the research, going down this rabbit hole, trying to get the story right. As I've gone through everything, there's been a lot of new information coming out. When we recorded this, we really only had the Chae interview to go off of, which is why we'll be referencing a lot of Chae. But there has been a bit more new information coming out as Bella, one of the other girls, ended up leaving, and now she's revealing more information about Chae. So look, for the sake of everyone, we're just going to continue going down what Chae's encounter was, and then throughout the edit, I'm going to try and show you guys what other girls who have also left are saying. Now that we got that out the way, let's get back to it.
Essentially, when she first joined, it wasn't a cult. She really just got into a relationship with Angela, and then she said that it kind of spiraled from there. Chae said that she met her back in January of 2021, and she said that it didn't start getting weird or becoming cultish until February/March of 2021. So a couple months later, shit hit the fan. I'm sure you guys know I talk about this 5,000 times on this channel. But lesbian relationships. So 2 months, that's a long time for a lesbian. So if you're sitting there asking yourself, how did she end up in this situation 2 months in? Just think how fast lesbians move. She explained that in the very beginning, it was nothing about being a cult. It was nothing like that. Essentially, it was just about her being a fan and supporting Angela. And then she said as more women joined, it became more of a sisterhood. Mm-hmm. And she said that they really just talked about all of the things that happened to them that were traumatic. So
Trauma bonding.
Ton of trauma bonding. And then from there, it just got darker as Angela's moods would change, and it turned into a full-blown cult. It seems that all the women who are meeting Angela are meeting her in a similar way that they met the woman from the beginning who advertised her oils. Chae said that she met her because she saw her on her For You page. She thought she was cute. She followed her. And then one day, Chae popped up on Angela's For You page. And then that was it. Chae explained that at first, Angela was super caring, super attentive, super loving. She felt super connected to her. But
after a while, that mask comes off.
I guess I just want to know, like, how did it get to the point where you was in a cult?
So Chae was one of the very first women. So she became one of the moderators on Angela's lives because she would post lives on TikTok essentially to get more women involved. So Chae would be the moderator, and she said that she would have to put in the chat, the rules are to call Angela daddy.
Or you're getting blocked.
And then she would also put Angela's Cash App in there because, of course, she wanted the women to send her money.
Right.
I know her mom passed away, so it hasn't even been a full year. So I was like making all kind of excuses of she's still grieving. Maybe she's hurt from her past relationship.
I understand to a degree how someone's mom passing away could affect their personality and the things that they do.
But this, I think, the things that they're describing in this is just way too far.
Taken way too far.
Now, before we get deep dive heavy into this interview, I do want to put a disclaimer that this interviewer, oh my goodness, I had never seen someone have such a lack of
empathy,
compassion for a clear victim in front of them.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's both of our faces is telling you, and you'll see as we get into it.
Like, how could you? Why would you feel like that's real love?
It gets worse,
way worse.
She was pretty much the secretary of all her hoes, basically.
I can't believe she said that.
Rude.
Secretary to her hoes. Chae's response to that, I think she responded to it beautifully. She was discussing that she wanted to have a polyamorous relationship. She wanted to know what that was like, and so did Angela. So, of course, they began a polyamorous relationship with all these women. But she said things just started going a whole other direction that she didn't expect. You know that dark place that all the YouTubers be in?
Right.
That's what we're referring to. A real dark turn. And Angela's weird God complex.
Oh, yeah. That's the weirdest part to me.
So along with going on the podcast show, Chae also shared a slew of different screenshots to her Twitter account to back up her word. One of which being one of the craziest text messages I've ever seen. Y'all know I didn't see some crazy texts with all the series that I done posted. But one of the craziest texts I have ever seen. I will read this to you. This is what Angela sent to the group chat of the other women. She said, y'all should be up at 9 a.m. every day, get off your bed, go to your knees, and pray to me.
Get in the shower, get dressed, and eat breakfast, and start your work on TikTok. It should take at least an hour.
If you've seen so far, if you scroll through a lot of these TikTok accounts, you're seeing their work on TikTok is just posting videos of Angela.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're
it's her
doing
face plastered
everywhere. You'll see the yellow hearts, which we'll get into where it derives from. If it's not an appointment or work, you are not able to leave before 12 p.m. Huh?
And being that this is your screenshot, that's you in the blue that replied. And what you say?
Yes, Daddy.
Chae said that at first it was let me know before you leave the house. And then it went into your curfew is 4 p.m. You need to be back in the house by 4 p.m. and reporting to me.
Wait, I just peeped that it's early as hell. 4 p.m. It's not funny. I'm sorry.
No, it's not funny, but
it's
like
just, that is crazy early.
It's the absurdity of it that makes us like chuckle.
Like,
anytime you see us laugh, we're thinking of the absurdity of all of this. There's so many other things that you could do in this world, Angela, and you decide to do this.
But let's get back to Angela's God complex.
She really has these girls posting online things like this.
She is my God. She is my Omega. She is my Alpha. She's my everything.
You know, one of the things people have alleged is that people were forced to pray to her. Is that true?
Nobody's forced to do anything.
Was it asked of people to pray to her?
No. She only asked certain people to do it.
Okay,
all the girls don't do that.
So it was asked, but only certain people did it.
It was never asked. Certain people do it.
Okay.
I feel like all of this is just classic break someone down, peep their insecurities, use them against them,
harp on them,
and control them. You got to break them down to build them in your own image. And so that's what she's doing, really, to these women. For Chae, she just looked at it as a role-playing thing. She thought, this is innocent, she got me calling her daddy, but like, that's nothing out of the ordinary. It's role-playing. So apparently, up until this point, no one has met her. This has all been online. The yellow heart thing, it's kind of like their code.
Yeah.
And it's sickening because the more you go down Angela's page and the more you go down this rabbit hole, you just see more and more yellow hearts.
Countless.
At one point, you just have to think, how many women are involved in this?
Yeah, we actually tried to
calculate how many women. We tried to keep a little count, but there is absolutely no way.
Yeah, because anyone could be a part of this. I mean,
anyone.
They don't have to meet in person.
How many women are involved in this cult, Chae?
Honestly, I don't have an exact number, but I can say it's 30 plus.
66 goofies, yes. 66 demons, yes!
I've seen a lot of them even go so far as to get her name tattooed on them. You are brainwashing these women to the point of getting your name tattooed on them.
They're branding themselves.
Branding. And that's what Bella said in her intro.
Oh, right.
She said, I'm branded like a cow. I'm not going anywhere.
So do you think it's weird that she has other people getting her name tattooed?
She doesn't have other people doing anything. I went and got my name tatted on my own.
Why?
She paid for it because that's the person I was in love with. I still do have feelings for Angela. Those feelings didn't just go away. You know what I mean?
No, it's obvious. Yeah.
It's gotten so deep to the point that Angela herself is not even recruiting the girls anymore. She has the girls recruiting other girls. And the way they do it is they will stitch or duet another woman's video, commenting on how beautiful they are, basically following them, complimenting them, telling them that, hey, I think there's someone you should meet, my daddy. And here is one situation in specific where Angela literally comments, yes, we can have her. That's sick. That's sick. Like this person is an object. Like, yeah, we can bring her on.
Add her to the roster.
And then once the girl comments on there, she goes ahead and she comments, please follow my daddy.
Another rule of being in this alleged cult is that you have to send Angela, aka daddy, money.
That's the way you said daddy. She probably watching this right now like... Chae put on Twitter screenshots of her sending money to Angela. You see 200, 150, 300, 200. So this is not like $5, $10 as what some of the girls have been saying in their lives. I've seen on TikTok that, hey, we don't really send her money. This contradicts all of that.
Almost 4K on her within 4 months. 4 months. And you want to post up the little $20, $40, $50 you were sending her for Dunkin' Donuts because you couldn't do nothing else?
Something interesting that Chae said in the interview is where the sending money kind of originated. As she discussed earlier, she would put Angela's Cash App in her lives and they would get money that way. Well, I guess they didn't get enough money that way, so they would have the girls send money to Angela. And the way they would get the girls to do it is Angela would send Chae money, and then Chae would send the money back to Angela anonymously. And then Angela would send the screenshots to the rest of the girls and say, look, some of my girls are sending me money. What are you guys doing?
Classic manipulation.
Classic.
So throughout this part of the interview, Chae kept referring to punishment. If you didn't do what Daddy says, you would have to deal with a punishment. But she didn't really go into detail on what this punishment was until the interviewer directly asked her.
So you keep saying this punishment. What do you mean they have to do a punishment?
One of the girls had to 10 times on her leg, like the thigh area. And then the other girl had to 150 times on the thigh area.
The girl that Chae is talking about that had to cut herself 150 times, it's really twisted how she actually ended up meeting Angela. Essentially, she flew to Michigan because she thought that she was going to a modeling gig. And once she got there, one person walked up to her and it happened to be Angela. Angela said, hey, the person actually came down with COVID, but I'm here. And of course, this girl had seen her on TikTok. She's like, wow, I think she's attractive. This is one of her TikTok crushes. So
And she fell right into it.
she fell right into the trap that Angela laid right in front of her. And so she went home with Angela. They ended up having relations. That girl actually ended up going home, packing all of her stuff up, and moving in with Angela.
Wow.
Just like that. One day, Bella and another girl is on live, and they are heard saying this.
And Daddy said if with the 700 they better be neat. And then after you need to pray for forgiveness.
Sorry about the brief audio switch. I noticed that our microphones were not recording. They are trying to destroy us like this girl's trying to destroy all the BBW women out there. So the interview then asked Chae, have you had to harm yourself?
One day she was really angry and she called and she said, go get a blade.
And as Chae is pouring her heart out and telling her these traumatic details, you can definitely tell that she's visibly uncomfortable, but she's pushing through to tell her story. The interviewer says,
Don't do that shit again.
don't do that.
Don't do that shit again. Don't do that shit again.
Don't do that.
I never thought of that.
No.
Yeah.
Cured. Cult ended. Video over.
Depression gone.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Another situation that Chae details on this interview is that one time Chae was on live and one of her stud presenting friends entered the live. And this happened to be one of the Daddy's Girls lives. But of course, the friend didn't know. And Chae did not tell the person otherwise to leave. And that angered Angela because Angela does not like having studs or any masculine presenting anything around her girls because they could possibly...
They can't even talk to their baby daddies.
No, but... So Angela, upset, sends these messages, which I'm not even going to read out loud. I'm going to just put on the screen and let you read it. She sends these messages to Chae because she allowed that person in the chat and didn't tell her to go.
It's really triggering, too.
It's very triggering, you know. I was sitting here in silence for a second because I'm looking at this and I can imagine being that vulnerable, you know, feeling insecure about myself, feeling like this is the only person that can love me, and now this person is telling me to harm myself, and that's what I need to do for their love. But I would say one silver lining, if we could call this a silver lining in this twisted mess, is at the time Chae said that there were only 3 women in the chat that Angela was basically demanding to harm themselves. So at least we know it wasn't more at that time. 3 is too many. 3 is too many, and I can only imagine how many it is now. Because I'm sure she's not, though she's posting these things on social media and taking it as a joke, I'm sure she is angry.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she doesn't want it to get out there. Clearly, from what we've seen, she does not want it to get out there. So I can only imagine what type of punishment these women are getting now.
Then our lovely interviewer goes into these text messages that she earlier said she wasn't going to bring up. And then she's like,
never mind.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Surprise, we're live.
I actually did not tell you that I was going to post these, but I have some text messages. Basically, they saying that you was an active, willing participant. All right. So these are the messages. Can you see them, Chae?
Yes.
Is that your name? Is that you?
Yes.
Okay.
As you can see, it says my name is Nodis or whatever. She has, like I say, a lot of the things I consider as role play. I didn't really consider them as like real life things, like things that we would like go forth with for the rest of our life.
The situation with Chae. Chae was telling her to make us do things to harm ourselves to turn her on, to turn Chae on.
So then the interviewer provides more incriminating text messages. And at this point, you see Chae saying, maybe I should just my face. Maybe then you'll think I'm beautiful. Being without you is like being in a plague. And of course, she's saying all these things. And you can tell in these text messages, she's spiraling. She's clearly spiraling. Literally. She's clearly not in her right mind when she's saying these things. And Angela, dear old Angela, eggs her on. And she says, do you want to tonight? Oh, we can do that. What?
Right.
That is your response to someone saying, I'd rather my face. You'd say, yeah, do you want to?
It's like a power trip.
Yeah.
That she gets off of this. It's really disgusting.
Like how?
She literally enjoys it.
She has to. At this point, she has to.
Yeah.
We're trying so hard to put logic into something that is illogical.
Right.
This does not make sense, and it's sad. In the spiral, she starts to say, you know, you have other girls. You won't miss me. You don't need me. Because she was the very first girl, she was the girl that everyone followed after. And just to speed it up a bit, for example, she said she polished her nails yellow one day, and all the other girls had their nails polished one day.
And
that's where the yellow hearts came from. Exactly. And so the interviewer's like, is that where all these yellow hearts came from? She said, that's exactly where it came from. It stems from me. These girls are posting these yellow things. I made yellow the thing. And I got so fed up with just being used in that way. What's even more sick is Chae said that Angela would put different body parts into a hat.
Yeah,
and
like
they
a
would
game.
pick out which body part she would want someone to just like you said, it's like a sick, twisted game. And she said that's why she was threatening to cut her face, because that's something that Angela always picked out for her was face. And Angela would tell her, no, you're too pretty.
She has a little, I guess, alter ego named Devin.
Want to see this face tomorrow? This is Devin. Please try me. Angela today has posted on her story, in lieu of all of this, she's posted a text chain with her and Chae. And it says, it's a picture of Chae, and apparently Chae has carved Angela's first initial into her skin. The picture is covered. And Chae is saying, does this show you that I serve you and you only? You see on this image, we took this straight off her Instagram story. She's saying, why y'all keep reporting it? Something's not right. She's laughing. You see that she's clearly...
She doesn't take it seriously at all. She doesn't care at all.
At all. Is she doing this just to stroke her ego? Is she doing this for money? Is she doing this to promote her business? Why is she doing this? I can't help but think, what is Angela really like in person? Because we see this online persona on Facebook. We see this everyday girl. She's just trying to make her business go afloat. She has her niece on there. She's a very proud aunt. But then we see this very different side of her on TikTok, where she wants these girls to call her daddy, and she's presenting as a stud.
It's all a facade.
Who is she really? So in March, Angela decided to fly Chae out to Michigan, and that's where Chae got to finally meet this lovely individual. And she said shortly after meeting Angela, it was April that she left the cult because of the experience that she had when she met her. So of course the interviewer, when she asked her, have you met her in real life? The interviewer asked,
What's the sex like?
Well, this sex had to be
Popping.
because
Editor me again. So remember this face because I just found out more information about him, so I'll put it towards the end of the video, but remember him.
You want the truth or a lie?
I want the truth. That's what we doing, right?
It was mediocre. Her stuff was mediocre. Okay, boom, I said that. She put the harness on over the joggers, everything. But, yes, like, y'all see why I left.
it wasn't until today that we're gonna keep referencing these posts on her Instagram story, because now that the news has broke again, Angela has gone on a complete Instagram story rampage. So it seems like Angela posted something on TikTok that alluded to, maybe she posted some pictures or something of Chae.
Yeah,
And it got removed
something.
for adult nudity and sexual activity. That's an alleged, I'm not sure exactly what she posted, so I do want to go on record saying that. But Angela reposted and said, oh, that hit a nerve. Why don't you want people to know that that kitty had gray discharge? So now she is firing back at Chae because Chae has said that her sex is mediocre. But that's the petty BS.
Yeah,
Let's
just
get
going back and
Let's
forth.
get back to the serious stuff. Chae details that she knows that people aren't 100% exactly what they put out online. However, she just was shocked by how different Angela was in person. She's actually not as masculine, not as dominant, not as studdish as she presents on the internet. She actually says that she's more of a femme, and that kind of goes towards what we're seeing on her Facebook page.
Yeah.
So could this all be fake? And of course, that's what I'm more curious about. Like, who is this person? Because I always want to know,
Yeah,
like,
who are
what's
you?
going on? How are you mentally? What makes you do the things that you do? But the interviewer cuts Chae off, and she tries to get to the juicier stuff, which, okay, I understand there's juicier stuff, but I'm curious as to who she is and why she's motivated to do these things.
Right.
And we're going to show you guys a clip of Angela promoting her oils on her Facebook page. A very different person than what we have seen on TikTok.
Okay, guys. We're back at it again. You already know. That oil, okay? I do have my laptop here today, so if you guys are putting in orders right now, I will definitely get them immediately. So I'm working with the laptop so I can stay on I can stay on top of things and make sure everything is in order, everyone.
Angela was a very, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear type of person. Because of the simple fact that everything, even I've had discussions with Chae, I've had discussions with other people who were in this whole group or whatever the case may be, and we're telling each other things back and forth, and it's like, oh, I'm hearing from you, Angela, say she didn't like me, but in our text message that I currently still have, Angela's telling me something completely different.
Chae calls Angela boring, but on top of that, she goes straight into Angela being physically abusive. And so it was like disorienting. Like, we went from boring to physically abusive. Chae talks about her being abused for something she didn't do. So apparently Bella, she went live on TikTok without Daddy's permission, and that angered Angela. And so her punishment was for her to herself. So she does it. And she sends a picture to Angela because they're supposed to send proof.
Yeah.
And Angela does not like the way it looks. The lines aren't
Too
straight
sloppy.
enough. Too sloppy. Not enough blood. And so she demands her to try again.
And we're literally yelling into the phone, like, just do what she asked you to do. Like, and she's sitting there, she was like, she got 30 seconds. She was counting to 30. And then when she got to 30, she just started, like, backhanding us, smacking us, choking us, just all of that.
That's so up.
It's fucked up. Wrapping up the interview, the interviewer says, you know, you guys have kids.
Yeah.
What about your kids? And this is one, I feel like one of the realest things that the interviewer said is like, what are you going to tell your kids? You know, what did you think about your kids when you were doing these things to yourself? How do you explain it? Exactly. And so Chae, she gets emotional. It's heart-wrenching to watch, but she gets emotional.
I don't mean to get emotional, but
That's okay.
it does bother me because my daughter's 2. And she's at the stage where she follows, me around. And she, like, when it first started, when they were kind of fresh, she follows me in the bathroom. And so one day she was like, Mama, look. And she pointed to them. And it's like, I felt like that's when I really started, like, I can't do this no more.
She pointed to your
Like, my
scars?
daughter is, yes. And, like, my daughter's only 2. So she is at the stage where she noticed a lot of things that we wouldn't think a toddler would notice.
Mm-hmm.
And even still to this day, like, if I'm using the bathroom, she'll just point and she'll just, like, put her finger on it. And she was like, look, Mama, what's this?
Yeah.
And then I just be like, it's mommy leg. Because she don't know. She just know, like, she just sees stuff on my leg and she just want to know what it is.
Yeah.
So, if these scars don't heal up, I mean, I don't want to have to tell my kids that, well, your mother was part of a cult. So, like, I kind of want to raise them to know what warning signs are, to know what red flags are, to know what trigger words or actions or anything of that sort, what they might be, so that way they won't have to find themselves in a situation or in a relationship that's abusive.
And it seems like she wasn't the only woman with that mindset when she was leaving. As Bella, the person we've been discussing throughout, she actually just recently gotten out within the past 2 days, according to a couple TikTok users.
Good for her.
Good for her, right? She got out because one of her kids were threatened. And she said, one thing I don't do, don't play about my kids.
That'll get you out real quick.
Will you be looking to join the group again?
No, I'm not going to go back to being a daddy's girl, no.
Why not?
Because I feel like Black is never going to stop.
So in your mind, is Black the one who is doing all this, who's trying to tear this group down?
Yeah. She already said before all of this even went down, before everybody got all this information, she texted Angela and said, I'm going to ruin your fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
Then she started calling people jobs to try to get them fired from their jobs. Then she threatened to kill my child. She told me she was going to bury my daughter next to my dead mother and spit on my mother's grave.
I've been putting out there, Bella threatened me, attacked me, talked about my family, kids. They did a whole thing on live of how they was going to cut my head off, all kind of stuff. Just to turn around and you leave her for the same things I've been telling everybody, that she don't deal with you. And I wasn't trying to do that to be funny.
People are going to definitely say, oh, Bella, you was bullying Chae. I did bully her, but I bullied her after she talked about killing my child. Once she brought my child into it, all bets was off.
So remember him. He is actually one of the people on TikTok that is reporting on this stuff very heavily. He's been interviewing people who were in the cult on his live. So there's been a lot of back and forth between him and Bella.
And then the boy King, he said he got people for me. Like this.
Come here, bitch. Yeah, ain't nobody told you to sit here and give my phone number out to the cult so they can sit here and threaten to groom my daughter and sit here and ask how much she was worth, aka sex trafficking. Yeah, your tears, good soup.
A separate TikToker did not like the way King was handling things, thought he was being a bit petty when he really didn't need to. She wants to see real change.
Something is finna be done, not needs to, finna be done. I'm here in Michigan. I'm contacting the Michigan authorities because y'all sitting up on TikTok talking about it and building a fucking following off of it and not doing shit. What are we accomplishing with this? So, following up on my last video, I called and I asked to speak with a detective, and the lady says, why do you need to speak with a detective? I explained the situation as thoroughly as I could. Damn near started crying because this shit. So she put me through to Pontiac Sub. And basically, they are more than willing to step in and do something about this, but we need more information. This is where y'all come in. I need either this girl's name or her phone number, any information that can be given to me about her, any of the survivors that want this to end. Come forward and tell me what y'all know so that I can forward it to this detective and they can make this shit happen. Because I don't play about nobody motherfucking kids. And I don't give a fuck about no following. I want this shit to cease. I don't like feeling like I could have done something.
Look, she all about answers. She want action. And I agree with her. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's figure this out because Angela is a bit too cocky. Too cocky for all of this to be going on, all of these serious matters to be going on. So let's get back to Chae, get into the theories, and we'll close this video out. Chae was basically saying that Bella was one of the people that Angela really had the least respect for. Since she didn't like her, she wasn't attracted to her. She didn't care if Bella gave her her last money.
She told me she didn't like Bella at all. Me and Angela had a 3-hour conversation on the phone. Just her. She gave me a rundown. Oh, Bella is this and Bella is that.
I think that's what's especially twisted is Bella probably just wanted that love and attention from this person. And you see how she lights up on this live when Angela tells her, like, yeah, you're my girl.
Bella's my heart. That's my baby. Can't nobody fuck with her. That's my girl, period. I've been with this girl for 6 months. Are you dumb? This girl know me. Period.
I do. And I love you so much. I'm about to cry. I love you so much, Daddy.
It gives them like this sense of validation. And I feel like that's why it's so sad because you can tell it's coming from an insecure place.
So now it is time for us to get into the theories of what is going on. Again, this is all alleged. So things are quickly unraveling. Now there are anonymous TikTok accounts coming up exposing this person. Again, this has been in the talks for the last couple of days all over the internet. More texts are being released, which they just get worse every time. This text is talking about a specific person, Bunny, who you saw again in the intro. She is one of the ones that is very prevalent on TikTok. She makes a ton of videos. I'll put a couple videos up on the screen for you, but she makes a ton of videos. She is very vocal about being in this cult.
It's a full-time job and it's extremely time-consuming and it's not as easy as it may appear to some people.
Angela says, this is twisted, please, this is twisted. Tell her I was so horny looking at Bunny after she Tell her I wanted to lick her blood. I will have to kill her if she leaves. It's getting uncomfortable.
You can't even like explain this away.
You can't explain that away.
There's no, I was just kidding.
This is not okay. The biggest theory that's going around, which will close out this video, is we've hinted at it a lot throughout the video, but Angela is actually a femme this whole time, and she's been in a relationship with a woman who is a masculine female, and this masculine female has been treating her the way that Angela has been treating all these other women, and so now this is her way of taking her power back by taking the power from other women.
Right. We found evidence that she actually calls this girl daddy. And it's almost like she's copying exactly what's being done to her and inflicting that pain onto people. And it's disgusting.
It's twisted. Her girlfriend, I'll put on the screen, her name is Ebby Weston. And if you take a quick look at her Facebook page, you'll see that her bio says, call me Big Daddy for real. And if you go through her comments, you'll see things that kind of corroborate what we were talking about, where they're calling her Big Daddy. You're my world, I worship you, and it starts to get your wheels turning. Maybe everything that Angela has been talking about, maybe it didn't come out of nowhere. It doesn't seem like they are still together, as Chae posted on Twitter a message to Ebby where she was saying, tell your ex-girlfriend to stop playing with me. So at that point, Chae is saying ex-girlfriend, so it doesn't seem like they are together. But again, I don't know.
They could be in cahoots.
They could be in cahoots.
She could be like the store operator, and then I'm so serious too. She could be like the manager, and then Angela's like the shift lead or some shit.
And that's what they had that's what she had the girls doing.
No, literally.
Because she had a secretary. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
It's a whole business. I really do think that.
Maybe it's a business.
This Abby character is like the head honcho. And then Angelina, what's her name?
Angela. Angelina.
Whoever she is just like running the place.
And that is further shown in a message that Chae sent or shared on Twitter. She shared all these messages. Shout out to Chae. Again, she details receiving lots of threats from all the other women that are remaining in the cult. And of course, this alleged growing cult at this time. Don't go around tarnishing Angela and Big Daddy's names or images. So that leads you to believe something. They could all be intertwined. Mm-hmm. That's our theory. These two women, Abby and Angela, they got something going on. Angela, surprisingly, as we've kind of detailed a bit, she has been responding to all the noise on her Instagram story.
Oh, she's loving this.
Oh, she's loving it.
She's loving the attention.
And it's crazy. It's insane to me that this could be such like heinous allegations and you just embrace
just
it. Yeah, join my cult. So we'll play some Instagram stories for you. It's the cult tongue for me.
It's the cult tongue for me.
We sit up here laughing, but it's not funny. It's not funny.
It's seriously
Somebody needs to take this seriously. This is not okay. And I'm hoping that this video can bring more awareness to this topic, more than just trending for a quick minute and going away, but actually Angela get repercussions and Abby, if Abby is involved.
Could it be that maybe your experiences with her is not what everybody else experienced? You could have had a more positive one, and a lot of the other people that are coming out won't be lying, and they're just speaking their truth?
That's all I gotta say.
That's all we gotta say.
Thank you, Liz, for joining me on my channel. This was such a dark topic. I had to bring another person in. I was like, look, I can't just like regurgitate this by myself. I need someone to like also balance the weight of this mess. So I appreciate you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Please make sure to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this. Y'all, we really in the business of thinking this girl about to come after us. So I'm gonna need y'all to protect us in the comments.
Please.
Because
protect Black women. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really hope the best, and we hope that all of them get out of this
safely and away from this girl, and this girl gets repercussions for her actions.
Ching ching.
I will see you in the next video. Bye.